This is Sandra.
Sandra, you sound like a dude. Sorry. And that scared the hell out of me. No. What would you like to say?
Yes, good morning. So, this is Frogman17. I had a question to ask you, man. Who runs the deep state in Israel?
Who runs the deep state in Israel?
Yeah. It's been on my mind for a couple of weeks. I'm like, man, who's behind that entity?
Who do you think?
Every nation has a deep state.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Who do you think runs the deep state in Israel?
I think it's Benjamin Netanyahu. I think he runs both sides.
Well, I think Benjamin Netanyahu's the prime minister, so he wouldn't really be running the deep state. He would be running his country, right?
Well, you know what? The people we don't see, you know, the people that's behind the scenes. Yeah, we don't see them, but they push all the buttons. But the thing the people we.
Do you believe that Israel controls the United States?
I mean, they founded the United States.
Israel founded the United States.
All the presidents of the founding fathers were Jewish.
George Washington was Jewish.
Yes, he was. He was a Jewish Freemason.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. I see where we're going here. So George Washington was Jewish, but why would they then write a constitution that says "In God We Trust"? Why wouldn't they throw some stuff in there about Israel? I don't think Israel's mentioned once in the Constitution of the United States.
I mean, the symbols of Freemasonry are embedded into the lexicon. So
Freemasonry founded the United States.
Yes, Freemasonry founded the United States.
Was Thomas Jefferson Jewish?
I don't want to throw that out there, but
wait, so you've got some secret information, but you don't want to say it?
No, it's not secret, but I want to be accurate. But I know, like,
I don't think you're being accurate saying George Washington was Jewish. George Washington was Episcopalian. He was Anglican.
Yes, but the Freemasonry, the symbols, they're merged by symbols. They talk with symbols.
Are you against Freemasonry? Are you against Freemasonry?
No, because there's an esoteric side to it.
You're shifting lanes here on multiple things. So you said George Washington was Jewish. I've corrected you on that. He was not. Thomas Jefferson was not Jewish. I don't believe any of our founding fathers were Jewish. And I'll ask you this: what religion are you?
I'm what you call a syncretist.
A syncretist? What is that? I've never seen those church. What is that? Syncretist.
No, it's not a church. It's an ideology. Basically, you're taking all the religions and you're basically simplifying it by symbols and ancient texts. Everything's all intertwined.
So you're taking. So do you use the King James version of a Bible for this, or what books do you combine to make this work for you? What books do you combine?
You use all the books.
Use all the books.
Use all the books.
Do you use the Quran? Do you use the Quran?
You use them all.
Do you use the Quran?
Yes, you use them all.
You use the Quran for shaping your religion.
No, not only the Quran, but I use that book to gather my information, to further my information.
So you just admitted you use the Quran to shape your religious ideology.
I said all books.
All books.
Religions.
All books.
Yeah.
The Lord of the Rings, all those books too.
Yeah, because if you look at the symbology,
if you use the Lord of the Rings to shape your ideology or the Quran, and I put more faith in the Lord of the Rings than I do the Quran, man, you have a great day. I
see you ain't answering my question. Who runs the deep state in Israel, man?
I don't live in Israel, and I don't care who runs the quote deep state in Israel.
Why wouldn't you care about that, sir?
Because I'm American.
But That's our allies. When you want to know who runs the deep state in Israel,
I don't believe that Israel controls the United States.
Well, you need to read the Bible over again.
You just told me you read the Quran.
I said I read all ancient texts.
You read all ancient text. Okay.
That's
all
what
right.
a syncretist does.
Thank you very much. A syncretist. Syncretist. Okay, yeah. You have a great day. Get synchronized with that. Oh my God, I feel dumber. Whoo! I'm sorry you had to listen to that. I feel dumber. I think I'm going to hang up on somebody here. Line 3. How quickly can I hang up on you?
Well, I was.
There we go. That's the answer. 0.1 millisecond. Bobby, Tennessee.
Hey, I had to laugh the whole time that guy was on about the Freemasons. You know, I think what he's talking about, it's been around for decades and decades. The layout of Washington, D.C., you know, back in the day when they were first forming that city.
I feel dumber.
Yeah, I do too. But here's my grandfather was a Freemason. It was designed by Freemasons. They laid the stones, all the cornerstones, and they put symbols on it so that everyone would remember who built Washington, D.C.
Let me ask you this.
To do with the government at all. It's dumb.
Let me ask you this. Wasn't the wisest man in the Bible named King Solomon? Wasn't that his name?
Yes.
And didn't King Solomon bring all of these people together to help build these biblical cities? And they were Masons. Is that correct?
Yes.
So
absolutely.
King Solomon, wisest man in the Bible. I believe in the Bible. I'm not saying that I've got a lot of friends and family that have been Freemasons. My grandfather, World War II veteran, God rest his soul. My dad was a Mason or still is a Mason. I've been offered. Yeah. I don't have the time. The Masons Lodge here where I live, I know a bunch of them. About twice a year, they go spend thousands of dollars on coats for kids. Thank you for calling, Bobby. God bless you.
You're welcome.
They're horrible people buying coats for kids. Line 3, go right ahead. Okay, there we go. Nice call. Let's grab this one. Line 4.
Yes, Dan, how are you?
Amazing. Who's this?
Well, this is Gary 7. We're opening a new church here in Winnemucca. It's a Synchronous Church, and I joined, and I'm finally in sync. How about you? Are you going to join?
A Synchronous Church. No, I think it sounds like absolute, I don't want to swear. It sounds like poppycock.
Oh, well, that's what we serve. That's what we serve during the services is poppycock. Boxes of poppycock.
I would love a box wine at my, no. Take care, brother. God bless you. Synchronous Church. I have never heard of anything as absurd as that. And I've heard some crazy stuff. A Synchronous Church, and you're combining the Quran that wants to take out everybody and the Bible. No, I'm just not gonna, I'm not taking those calls. No, I will never allow you on the show again. Not happening. And if you think that, then good day. Mr. Milton in Memphis, bring the knowledge. So I'm better than I deserve. And I will say this though, Milton, on a daily basis, I meet people that make me feel like a rocket scientist. And I think you know what I mean. I meet people that are so dumb that I wonder if they will ever develop the capability to breathe through their nose. What would you like to say?
Yeah, you so right. I just want to, it's Monday when Trump came to Memphis, man, our leaders really straight up and just disrespected that man. And I was so, pissed off about it. And I did a whole hour video on Steve Cohen. I haven't done the one for our mayor because I wanted to break down his interview. I was like, y'all talk bad and crap about the man before he got here and after he left instead of showing up to talk to him face to face.
Milton, let me ask you a question. I'm going to assume something here. I'm going to assume you are a Black American patriot. I'm going to assume that. And
yes, I'm Black.
I want to, I've got a question for you.
Okay.
At what point in your maturity in life or your awakening did you realize the president of the United States is not a racist? When did you get enlightened about that?
Well, about Trump, I've used to watch Trump like in the 80s, like when he used to be on Oprah Winfrey's, like Oprah Winfrey shows and stuff like that. He's never ever rubbed me the way about him being a racist. Yeah. I remember in one of his books, he's talked about how he had helped a group of Black men back in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken, and they was trying to start their businesses and stuff, and the banks wouldn't give them loans.
Right.
And when they went to Trump, and somebody told them to go ask Trump for the loan, they went to Trump. Trump gave them the loan and said, "This how much that we agree that you pay me back." They said, "Okay." So years went on, and they said when they came back with the check for the man,
he didn't take it.
How's your business? He did not take. He said, "How's your business?" "Oh, everything's going great." Oh, okay. This is the check that we agreed upon. He said, "Yes, sir." Told the check up and said, "Enjoy y'all business."
I'll tell you this, Milton.
And if he's a racist, he's doing a terrible job at it. He needs to take some classes then.
He's a failure. Yeah, he's got to get better. He should take some advice from the Democrat Party, maybe Barack Obama. I've got a friend of mine that was riding his motorcycle, two guys I knew riding their Harleys through Colorado. Trump had not announced that he was going to run for president yet. This was back in 2014, 2015. They were driving down the highway on their Harley Davidsons. There was a limo that was broke down, had a flat tire. They stopped and helped change the flat tire on that car. About 6 months later, their mortgages was paid for because the guy that was in the car that got out and shook their hand was at that time just Donald Trump. They got both of their mortgages paid for by the president of the United States.
Ain't that something? And I never heard that story before.
Neither one of those guys have ever came public with that. That happened.
Yeah.
Milton, I want to say thank you for calling, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
No, you go right ahead. Finish your thought. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, no, I was just going to say, he didn't become racist till he got to the White House. As a matter of fact, when Jesse Jackson was running for president twice in the 80s, Trump gave him an office to run his campaign office and didn't charge him anything. And then you introduce Trump as your friend. Okay, fast forward to when they would start calling him racist and this and that. You did not come out and say, "Hold on, I'm not going to let y'all say this about this man. This man helped me back in the 80s. And this is my friend." Jesse Jackson didn't come out and say anything because you know why? He would lose everything if he did.
Let me ask you this, Milton. Have you ever heard anything about a Synchronous Church? Because that one blew me away. My grandfather did a little preaching.
That was my first time.
I've never heard of anything like that. Never.
I heard of all kind of other different religions. Whatever the religion, that people want to go with and go by, that's on them. Me, I'm raised as a Christian.
Yeah.
Baptist.
Yeah.
And I'm born and raised here in Memphis, Tennessee.
I grew up.
That goes about.
I grew up in an Assembly of God church in Lower Alabama, and my high school principal was a deacon in the church, so I didn't get away with a lot. I didn't get away with much. Brother, I appreciate you calling. It is nice to talk to you, Milton. God bless you. Thank you for calling in. Take care.
All right, y'all have a good day.
And tell everybody that we allow people of any race, gender, color, creed to call in, even whenever I disagree with them. Milton, you're a great American. Take care, brother. God bless you.
All right.
Milton. Let's go right here. This was at San Francisco ballpark last night. I don't know who this gentleman is. Obviously, he's a squid. Hi, Ben. Your map is saying the Gulf of Mexico. Pin the screen. It must be a Google bloopy.